All right. So to get started with creating lead gen ads, the first thing I would recommend doing is kind of deciding what type of ad you want to run. Within Command, you have a lot of different options. First and foremost, obviously, listings come top of mind if you want to create leads. You can advertise your listings, or if there are other agents' listings you want to advertise, you can do that as well. We also have products like um, Keller Mortgage, as well as Keller Offers that you could use for lead gen as well. Lots of different tools, and a lot of different agents use them differently. If you decide you want to use a Keller Mortgage or a Keller Offers ad, there's tons of creative that you can use. So the images within Command's designs. So that's kind of the pathway we're going to take. We can quickly walk through doing a listing as well. It's pretty simple. But I do want to show you how to do a Keller Mortgage ad. So to get started, the first thing I want to do is I want to go to my settings, and I want to make sure that all of my Facebook is set up correctly. So I'm going to go to click on my name in the top right-hand corner, click on settings. Give this a second to load. And now I want to make sure that Facebook is connected correctly. So I have Facebook Post Scheduling and Facebook Ads Manager. To run ads through Command, you must have a Facebook business page set up, and you must have that connected. So this is kind of weird, but to log into your Facebook business page, you actually just log into your personal account that you used to create the business page. But you do need to make sure that the Facebook Ads Manager is set up here and connected. If it's not, you will not be able to run lead generating ads. From here, once you're all set up, I would recommend getting your creative all together, so your images. To do that, I'm going to go to Designs. So it's going to be the third from the bottom icon on the far left. And then up in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click on Create Design. And I'm going to select Social because I want to run this ad on Facebook, and click Continue. Give this a second to load. Perfect. So now we have a whole section right here of content under lead generation. So we have client love, client testimonials, I love KW, personal branded zine. Oh, so if you wanted to run that magazine. And then under buyer, here we go. We have our Keller Mortgage. So you can see it's going to pull up all the different options for Keller Mortgage. We have flyers if you wanted to print them out. We have Social Square, Twitter, and Social Wide. So Social Wide is going to be more of your horizontal image. You can run a wide image on Instagram as well. So you can see here's just a bunch of different images. I'm going to click on Social Wide because these are the ones I want to look at. Just a little bit of text. One thing to keep in mind when you want to run ads on Facebook is only 20% of the image can be covered in text. So you can't put a whole lot of information on it because Facebook will deny that ad. The thought is they want all of that information to actually be in the ad copy and not on the image. So here is a bunch of different pre-made images that we can select. So I'm going to use this one right here. The market is hot, mortgage fees are not. Very simple. Super simple. Let's say this house here doesn't really look like the house that you work in, the neighborhoods that you sell in. So you do have the ability to come over here to come to workspace, to images, workspace. And then we could look at home exteriors. And I could just replace that image super quickly. I want to reposition it. That doesn't look any better. Here we go. Let's do this one. There we go. I'm going to reposition. There we go. All right. Not great. Let's try this one maybe instead. There we go. Let's just reposition this. The text shows up just a little bit better on this one since it's darker. So it's that easy. You can go through all different types of house exteriors over here that you can select from. So if you want to sell condo, townhome, anything. I am going to just save this as my lead gen ad, and today's the 26th. I always like to give my file states just so I can keep track of them a little bit more easily. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download this to my computer. And I'm going to select as a JPEG and download. Actually, I'm so silly. I actually didn't even need to download that. I got ahead of myself. Not even necessary. But I already have it downloaded, so it's fine. So you'll notice here, I'm not adding anything about First Atlanta. I'm not actually adding any text or images about Keller Mortgage because I want to keep it clean and simple. Facebook really wants these images to be minimal in text. So I'm going to make sure that all the information that I have about Keller Mortgage is in my copy. If you really wanted to, you could put your picture or logo here, but just again, keep in mind that only 20% of the image can be covered in text. So now that I'm done creating my image, I'm going to click done so I can get out of the designs. And now I'm going to go to campaigns, which is the icon of the megaphone over here on the left-hand side.
I'm sorry, Nick, I didn't see where you had got those original ads from.
So within designs, so into designs, and then create design, social. Give it a second to load. And then the Keller Mortgage is under buyer, but you can just click through all the different types of content types over here on the left-hand side and pick whichever one you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now I'm going to go to designs, which is the icon of the megaphone. Up here in the top right-hand corner, it'll show my connected accounts for paid ads. So has my Facebook right there, so I'm good to go. To get started here, I'm going to click on Create Campaign in the top right-hand corner, and I'm going to select Social Ad Paid. You can see here we have social post, but that's not paid. The difference is that if you were to select a social post, this would be if you wanted to schedule a post to go live at a certain time. So let's say you're going on vacation, but you still wanted your weekly market stats post to go out so no one knew you're actually on vacation. You could go ahead and set that all up and Command could post it for you. But we want to select paid ad because we want this ad to be delivered to people that are not currently connected to me on Facebook. So I'll click the social ad. And then with everything in Command, I always recommend to start at the top and work your way down, filling in the information. They have really set this system up to hold your hand throughout the process. So it's not too difficult. So today I'm going to name this Keller Mortgage Training 726. And then we're going to select a goal. And here we have 7 options with an other. Select which goal is going to be most similar to what it is you're trying to achieve. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not going to affect delivery of your ad at all. All it's going to do is help categorize all the different ads that you run. So then when you look back at past successes or past campaigns, you can compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, because if you're advertising the listing, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're advertising an event or brand awareness. So today with Keller Mortgage, we want to attract buyers. So I'm going to click attract buyers. And then at the bottom, it's going to ask, where will this campaign run? So I have my Facebook connected, so I can run that. Now, I personally would recommend running Instagram ads as well. At the moment, you do not have to have a separate business Instagram. Since Facebook owns both Facebook and Instagram, if you select Instagram here, it'll kind of create a little kind of like a fake business page for you. But I would recommend running it on both platforms because it's not going to do any harm. It's not going to waste any money. And Facebook can optimize between whichever platform is performing better. I'm not a big Twitter user, so I don't have a Twitter, but if you wanted to run the ad on Twitter, you could as well. So I'm going to select create campaign. Give this a second to load. Now, we're just going to start at the top over here on the left-hand side and work our way down. As we add information on the left-hand side, the preview over here will update in real time. So we can see exactly what the ad's going to look like in multiple environments. So we have our name and goal. So if we needed to change any of that, we could. If you wanted to run a listing, you could pull that listing in here. And very similar to setting up a landing page or creating a flyer, Command will pull in that information from that listing directly from KWLS. So you don't have to upload images or anything. So today we're doing our Keller Mortgage. So I'm going to come here to text because now we need to update the copy of the text. And the copy is going to be where we provide more information. I have a couple ads already set up. I am not a very good copywriter, full disclosure. I'm not the creative type. I'm the numbers guy. So if you are not already a member of Command Your Conversion, it's a Facebook group, I highly recommend that you join it. Command Your Conversion. In that group, it's agents sharing information of how they're using Command to build their business. They have tons of different ad templates in there. A lot of people show examples of successful ads, which is where I actually got the information for today's training. And they say, please copy paste this, do this for yourself. No reason to recreate the wheel. So check out that Command Your Conversion Facebook group. So for our main copy here, let me just copy this over here. Let me copy. I'm going to paste this in. The Keller Mortgage 0+ loan has 0 lender and origination fees plus $1,000 towards third-party costs on loans over $150,000. See if you qualify below and save some cash. So you can see how this main copy appears over here above what will be the image. When writing copy, include emojis. I don't know why, I don't have the data, but everyone always says emojis perform really well. I think they help break up the monotony of the words. They show personality and people like them. They're used to using them every day in texting, so why not put them here? So in the bottom right-hand corner of the text box, there's a little emoji icon, so you can add a bunch of emojis. So I'm going to, let's type in 0 or no. I like this little emoji here, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to paste that right there. Not mean to delete that. And then let's do look at money. There we go. Just gonna do the same thing here. Let's see if there are any other emojis we can use. We can always use like the house one. copy this. You can go through and you can play around and you can add as many emojis as you want. I think 3 is kind of the optimal amount. Let's see, on home loan. I'm just going to put that right there. Why not? So just a couple emojis, play around with them, depending on whatever it is you want to put in there. And then below here, we have the headline. And then I can see on the example on the right-hand side, this headline is going to be this bold text. So we want this to be something really quick that's going to stand out. So I'm going to just copy the text that I took from Command Your Conversion. I'm going to paste that in there. So get $1,000 cash back at closing, ... Oh, they changed the headline. So now it's only 25 characters. Okay. All right.
They just recently changed that too.
Yeah, that is wild. That must be a little Facebook update. Let's do. So get $1,000 back, really. And then we'll have the description. So here we'll provide more information. And then we'll do.
Hey, Nick, now I did notice one thing. I don't know if this is true or not, but does the characters change when you use different platforms? And since you're using both the platforms, it kind of has it on that shortened count, like letter count.
That, you know what, Shimon, that is actually a really great point. It could be. So if I were to just select Facebook, it may give me more space, but because I'm also using Instagram, it only allows me the 25 characters.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but it's just something that I noticed, running campaigns for both Facebook and Instagram and both at the same time.
Yeah. And then one thing that you just made me think of is, since we are running across both platforms, and even if you were to run on Twitter, your emojis, by selecting the emojis here through the command system, you're using the templated emojis, so they will show up correctly for whatever that comparable emoji is for that platform. So another benefit of using the emoji tool down here versus just copying and pasting an emoji from your phone.
And we can, up at the top right there where it says Facebook preview, we can change the different type of preview to where we can see if it's either mobile or what it would look like on the Instagram ad. And that way we can judge, what to type.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll walk through that in just a minute once I get the image uploaded.
Sorry about that.
I know you're good. And then let's see. Here's my last little bit of information for the description, and this is pretty simple. Find out more about Zero Plus. Basic. You could add more if you wanted to. No big deal. So we have all of our text set up. So I'm going to click Save. And then next is our media. So what image do we want to use? I downloaded the image. So I could come over here to click on Select Media. And it gives me the ability to choose from a listing, which I don't want to do. I could add images. It allows me to browse designs library or upload. And this is when I got a little ahead of myself earlier. I can just click on Browse Designs Library. And here's my ad that I just created earlier. So I can just select that. Give it a second to load. But this way it prevents me from having to download. Okay. That is very strange. Let me try it again. There we go. So it looks kind of wonky here, but no worries. It's fine. Then click Preview and Crop. And I'm going to select that I want this to be a wide image. So that way it puts the whole image in there. Click Save. And now over here on the right-hand side, that preview updates. So here's all my copy, my image, This is exactly what a consumer is going to see. And then as Shimon pointed out earlier, up here, we have a drop-down menu that allows us to see what this ad will actually look like in different platforms. So it's going to default to Facebook preview web feed, but you do want to look and see what it looks like in the mobile version. And everything still shows up properly. An Instagram ad. So this is what it will look like on Instagram when someone's scrolling through. And an Instagram story if you decide to run a story. I don't really run stories here. And if you are going to run a story, I would recommend having some creative that's optimized for this vertical placement. But if you decided to, you could. Any questions so far? All right. Over here in the media section, we have our DBA logo, and it's going to default to showing the KW First Atlanta logo that I've uploaded into my marketing profile. However, and well, let me clarify, I'm obviously not a compliance broker. I'm not Lynn, I'm not Alita. However, it is my understanding that since I am not actually advertising a listing here, I don't actually need to include anything about First Atlanta. So I'm going to remove this DBA logo. And then it's gone out of the bottom right-hand corner. You are very welcome to include that logo if you want to. I would recommend, if you haven't gone to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com, Scott Hardy has uploaded an entire zip drive of all the First Atlanta logo options, full color, grayscale, full white, transparent background, white background, all different file types that you can use. So if you wanted to include a logo here, you can upload one. So I'll pull up a transparent background one. Actually, I think I'm going to use the black and white one. I'm going to use, there we go. One thing to keep in mind when you are selecting a logo or a file, a .png file is likely going to be transparent background. So I selected a PNG file here. You can see it has transparency there. To me, the transparent background just looks a little bit more professional, a little bit nicer. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, so .png is going to be that transparent background. So I'm going to click save because we're done with the media. Next, we're going to go to Facebook and Instagram settings. So here, it's going to show that I'm connected to my account. So this is my personal account. And then I'm going to select from the drop-down here, my actual business page. And it's going to show me all the business pages that I have connected to my personal account. So I'm going to select the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group because that's my little business. And when I select that, you can see the preview updates. Here's my logo that I have as my image for my business page. And it says Nicholas Core Real Estate Group sponsored. So this is exactly what my ad is going to look like. I think it looks pretty good, especially for someone that has very limited creative ability. Now we'll scroll down. It's going to give us Instagram position. It gives us the option of feed and or story. Or it goes, oh, we only get feed or story now. We used to be able to do both. Instagram feed. I would recommend just using feed. If you wanted to run an Instagram story ad, maybe set up a campaign specifically for that story. But I would just run feed. And then scrolling down, we have our destination. We have two options: Facebook lead generation form, recommended, or site or landing page. So we are creating lead gen ads. So we want to make sure that we select the Facebook lead gen form. This is going to ensure that when someone clicks on our ad, that Facebook is able to collect that lead information to send to us. If you select site or landing page, you will not get any lead information. So you'll kind of be wasting your money. If this is your first time ever running a lead gen ad, when you click use the Facebook lead generation form, you'll have a pop-up window that's going to give you a bunch of terms and conditions, and it's going to ask you to accept it. That basically saying, hey, this is how Facebook is going to collect this data and how it's going to give it to you. Do you accept? Click accept. And then you probably need to come back in here and command and select Facebook lead generation form one more time. And then you are good to go. You should only have to click accept on those terms and conditions one time. Below that, we have our button label. So you can see it defaults to learn more, and this is the learn more button down here. We have a couple of different options of sign up, apply now, and apply now. I would recommend just leaving it on learn more. To me, learn more is less of a commitment for a potential consumer. A sign up, they're probably gonna be like, I don't want to get spammed by this real estate agent. And apply now, what am I applying for? I don't want them to have, I don't want to give them my social security number. I don't want a credit check. I don't even know what Keller Mortgage is. Just seems like too much of a commitment, but oh, I'm happy to learn more and see if it's a good fit. So I would just recommend leaving it as learn more. Next, we have a website URL for our follow-up page. So the way that the Facebook lead gen ad works is a consumer scrolling through their Facebook or Instagram. They see the ad, they see this beautiful ad right here, and they're like, wow, I'm curious to see how I could get $1,000 cash back at closing. So they click on the ad. They immediately get a little pop-up window. It says, please confirm and submit your information. And it says first name, last name, email address, and phone number. And it will pre-populate with the information that is from that Facebook user's account. So it's already in there. 9 times out of 10, the information is already filled in. Then they click submit. Then once they click submit, that user is then taken to a landing page where they can go to learn more. So we do need to have a follow-up URL. Something that's really cool about Keller Mortgage is that we each have our own little unique Keller Mortgage landing page. So I want to show you how to get there. So I'm going to open up a new browser window and I'm going to type in Keller Mortgage. And I'm going to come to Keller Mortgage here. KW agent login. And this is going to be the same login information that you have for command. And this is my whole screen, so I can see if I have a bunch of deals going on, kind of an overview of what's going on. I can come over here to KM settings, Keller Mortgage settings. And then here I have my personal Keller Mortgage link. And here's all my information. So my name, my cell, my team name, all that. This is pulled in from my marketing profile in command. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to open up a new tab so you can see what this link looks like. So when someone clicks through, here's my little image. So it shows, oh, okay, this is Nicholas Core. I just clicked on the ad from Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. I want to buy a home. Single family. This would be exactly what a consumer would go through. Let's do. And they fill in their information. And I don't want to do that right now. But nonetheless, you get the idea that this is pretty cool that you have your own personal URL. And so that's going to ensure that any leads that you get from this ad, while they're already going to go into your command, or anyone that has actually gone through and filled in this information to get pre-qualified will already be assigned to you in Keller Mortgage. So I'm going to copy this personal link here. I'm going to come back into command and I'm going to paste this URL right here in the website URL bar. There we go. And we get a little checkbox and that lets me know that we are good to go. If you're running a listing ad, you will need to have a landing page for that listing. You can create landing pages specifically in command. There's also, you could also just go to your Keller Williams agent website and pull up that listing and just copy that URL and put that here. So that way it would still keep them in your KW environment if you want to, just a couple workarounds. So once we've gone through, we've set up our Facebook page and we're doing our lead gen form and we have our follow-up URL. Now we need to use custom settings. Custom settings is going to allow us to get very specific, or excuse me, much more specific on who we deliver this ad to. Because we only want to talk to people and share this ad with people that are actually in the market for buying a new home. I don't want to serve this ad to someone that just closed on a home. I want it to be someone that's actively searching, comparing mortgage rates, all of that information. So the system is going to default to 20 miles around Atlanta since that's where I'm based, but I'm going to select use custom settings. And now we have two options, target my database or target a custom audience. Since we are running a lead gen ad, we want to make sure that we are targeting a custom audience. If we target my database, I'm already going to be talking to people that already know me, so I won't be able to get any new leads. So always make sure you use target a custom audience. Excuse me. If, let's say, you work more in Roswell or Cumming or Douglasville, you can change the location. You can just come over here and just start typing in wherever you work. So that way it will change the geolocation of your ad. So it's in a more closer to where you are. It's going to default to a 20-mile radius around Roswell or whatever city you select. The smallest radius you can go down to is 15. And that is for fair housing. We want to make sure that we're not excluding certain people and whatever. So this is 15 miles around Roswell. You can also make that wider if you wanted to. You could do 100 miles if you wanted to. Oh, I guess, only up to 50. I'm just gonna do 15 because I mean that's a 30-mile diameter. That's pretty wide area. And then below here we have our expert targeting, and this is where we're able to layer on that psychographic and behavioral targeting based on what people do and like on the internet. And this is where we can get really granular in talking specifically to people that have looked at mortgages. So I actually have a list of targeting parameters that I took from the Command Your Conversion Facebook group. So I'm going to share that right now in the chat. So that way you guys all have a copy of that as well. Where's my little chat box? All right, where file? Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, let me try this to drag it in. Okay, so I guess it's not going to let me share it. I got a new Zoom account, so it's not letting me share this file. Well, this stinks. Okay, I'll have to upload it to Google Drive and then I can share it. I will email it. If you send me a note or a text message after this class, I can email you. It's just a little JPEG that has like 15, 20 different targeting parameters that you probably want to use. Just makes it really simple for you. So to add our targeting parameters, we're going to click on Add Interests. Give it a second to load. Now we have a very long list of interests. The way that Facebook is able to identify who is interested in accounting or acting is because they can, when someone that has a Facebook profile goes and searches the web and they type in acting or they're on an acting website, cookies are dropped on their computer And then Facebook is able to say, okay, this person has been on 3 acting websites. They must be interested in acting or getting into acting. So then Facebook then puts them into that potential category. You can go through this entire list if you wanted to. Probably not a bad idea if it's your first time in the system, but you do also have the ability to just search, which I would recommend doing here. For every single Facebook ad that you run, I would always recommend including Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor as targeting parameters, since those are the 3 biggest real estate search platforms for consumers. So I'm just going to type in Zillow. And I'm just going to select the Zillow here. I do not want to select Premier Agent because I don't want to speak to other realtors. Let's do Realtor. Again, I'm just going to select realtor.com and then Trulia. So you can see I have 3 targeting parameters selected so far. So now, since we are advertising Keller Mortgage, let's look up some mortgage items. So we'll type in mortgage. Let's see what shows up. Mortgage loans, mortgage broker, mortgage calculator, mortgage insurance. Why not? Reverse mortgage, not probably a great fit. So I'm not going to select that. So I have 7 total selected now. We can look up, let's do maybe first time or first time home buyer. There we go. First time home buyer. You could do first time home buyer grant. I mean, if they're looking for grants, maybe they need, some extra money, and that $1,000 back at closing would be really helpful. You can look up house and see what comes up. House hunting. Perfect. Let's do credit. Since, we're talking mortgage loans, so we need to know the credit history. All right. So I have 11 items selected, or 11 targeting parameters selected. So I'm going to click save. So I think we're good there. I would say anywhere, usually around 10 is ideal. We have 11, so we're fine. You can always add more, and you could narrow the audience too. One thing to keep in mind when you're adding all of these targeting parameters, you're adding them with an or statement. So if someone is interested in Zillow or in Realtor or in Trulia or mortgage loans, so that way you can reach as many people as possible. If you were to use and statements, if the system were to default to and, it would be very, very small population of people that like Zillow and Realtor and Trulia and mortgage insurance and all those other things. If you wanted to narrow it, you can click narrow. And you can add even more. Oh, that's weird. This would be, so if you click narrow here, you added more audience parameters. This is how you start adding those and statements, which I do not recommend doing. It's going to make your audience teeny tiny. Any questions on setting up our targeting parameters? As you start to play around in Facebook ad and command Facebook ads, you'll get more used to them, and you'll be surprised. You probably use a lot of very similar targeting parameters every time you set up an ad. But just know there's tons in there that you can search, and you'll find a list. I would recommend just kind of keeping a list too of the ones that you like. So I'm going to click save. Then we're going to go to lead settings. So I'm going to click configure here. Now, this is pretty new in the last, I think, like 2 months, is that when a lead comes into command, we can set this to automatically have a contact tag. So I can select all the different tags that I have in there, so it automatically gets assigned that. So super easy. So what you could do, let's do Facebook, let's do Keller Mortgage Training ad 726. I could just create a new tag right there in the command. This is the benefit of running your ads through command is that you can create a tag right here and it's going to link to my entire database. So I have this new ad. So if someone comes in today from this lead gen ad, it's going to be tagged with this. So it helps me keep it uh, very, very streamlined and simple and clean. It also allows me to assign to smart plans. Now it only shows that I have 2 smart plans available. It's because I only have 2. But what we'll do in just a moment is we'll go through and create a really quick smart plan follow-up plan. Smart plan follow-up system. Any questions about this? It's pretty new. I also like to point out here that this edition here was based on agent feedback. So when you guys share with me your feedback, I share that with our regional director, Patrick, and it goes up the chain to the labs. And if you submit ideas through command, they do hear you and they do make those changes. So this has been a pretty great savings. So that way, as soon as the ad runs, they automatically add it to a smart plan and they can get that follow-up text or whatever immediately. So I'm going to click save here. And then I'm going to click on duration and budget. The system is always going to default to a 10-day campaign for $3 a day. You can run this campaign for as long as you want or as short as you want. If you are running lead gen campaigns, I would recommend give yourself 3 weeks. It just gives the ad enough time to get out there and get some learnings, so that way it can optimize and really improve those the performance and getting you the most valuable leads. You'll notice that it's set to start tomorrow versus today. And that's because Facebook will require some time to review the ad to make sure it is compliant with all of their Facebook ad standards. And that it does meet that the image has less than 20% of text on it, as well as it meets all the fair housing guidelines. Facebook is very strict on that. And if it breaches any of those fair housing guidelines, it will be declined. So I'm going to leave this to start tomorrow, and I'm going to have this run, let's just do through the 20th. So 24 days. Now you'll notice when I selected 24 days, my daily per channel amount down here reduced to 63 cents. So I do need to adjust my campaign budget accordingly. So let's do $60. And now it goes to $125 per channel. You do need to have at least $1 per channel per day. But one thing I want to point out is right here below where it says total campaign budget, we have 2 different options. Distribute evenly across channels to selected, so that's Facebook and Instagram. Or below that, we have use automatic placements for Facebook, Instagram ads. If you are running your ad on both Facebook and Instagram, I highly recommend that you use automatic placements for Facebook, Instagram ads. Since Facebook owns both platforms, it can optimize delivery to either Facebook or Instagram to whichever platform is driving and delivering the most number of leads. So my thought is cast the widest net possible at first across both Facebook and Instagram, and then on whichever one's giving me more leads, it's going to optimize my delivery and my spend against that platform. So let's say Instagram is working really well and I'm getting a ton of leads from Instagram and Facebook's not working that well, it'll shift my ad to run probably 90% on Instagram so I can get as many leads as possible. So always, my recommendation is use the automatic placements. And now I'm going to click save. Now you'll notice all of the different sections have a green checkbox, so we are good to go. Here's my ad over here on the right-hand side. Give it a double check. It looks good to me. What you would do next is click Publish Campaign, and that will then ask you to confirm your debit card information. And Command is going to go ahead and charge you for the full $60 or however much you set up for this budget for this campaign. It's going to charge you upfront. So you'll see a charge on your account for $60, Keller Williams. Then the way that the system will work is that every couple of days, Facebook will take a draw out of that $60. So kind of think of Command's going to have a little bucket of money, and then every couple of days, Facebook will take some money out to pay for your actual delivery. The reason I point that out is because if you were to run an ad from Facebook, usually I don't think it charges you until the end of the campaign. So just wanted to make that that clarification. Also, in the event that you don't spend the full $60, maybe you stop your campaign early, or there's just not enough leads out there, the difference of what's not spent will remain in your command account. So the next time you go to run an ad, let's say you have $15 left over from this campaign, and then you want to run a $50 campaign next time, you'll only be charged $35. So just wanted to keep that in mind, since we are all business owners. I want to make sure everyone is comfortable with the numbers that they are seeing in their accounts. So I'm going to click Save Draft because I don't actually want to publish this today, but you would want to publish. I'm going to click Save Draft. Click Yes. So here it shows my training right here. Now, while we're here in the campaign system, when you want to track performance of this, you'd want to come to campaigns. So you're like, hey, let's see how my ads are doing. Come to campaigns. You want to click on paid ads, and that's going to take you to this screen where we just were. And this is going to show you a list of all the campaigns that you have running. Here's our name, the platforms we're on, which account, a preview, the status, the duration, CPM. CPM stands for cost per thousand. So how much is it costing you to deliver this ad to 1,000 people or 1,000 impressions? To the right of that is cost per click, CPC, and that's how much does it cost to get one person to click on your ad. And then the next column is cost per lead created, or captured, excuse me. So how much does it cost you to actually get a lead? So these numbers will increase, so it'll probably cost you $2 to reach 1,000 people, probably get $3.50 to get someone to click on the ad, and then probably $5 for someone to actually submit their lead information. Now you'll notice I'm going to scroll down to an old ad that I had run. So you can see here's all the information for previous ad. And then under my leads right here, it says $0 and says 0 leads. That's because for this campaign that I ran a long time ago, I was not capturing leads. But you'll notice here it says 0 leads and it's highlighted. What you can do is you can click on this and it's going to take you into your contacts, and it's going to show you all the leads that are from that campaign. Now, I don't actually have any leads from that campaign, so it doesn't show any, but that is a really quick way that you can go to all those leads. And then your total spend. And then over here on the far right, we have 3 dots. You can edit the campaign, you can duplicate and archive. Now, be mindful that if you do, there are very few, I think once you are live, you're unable to edit. And if you duplicate the campaign, it is an exact duplicate. It doesn't allow you to make any edits. So just be mindful of that. Any questions on, excuse me, creating the Facebook ad before we jump into smart plans really fast? Anything I can show you again within the campaigns system? All right. So now that we've created our ad, now we need to create our smart plan follow-up system. To do that, I'm going to go to smart plans, which is the 4th icon down on the far left. And here are my 2 smart plans that I have active. Now, you do have the ability to create your own smart plan, which is great. And if you want to, go for it. But again, I'm a very busy real estate agent. I have listing appointments and showings. I'm driving around. I don't have the time right now to create a whole new smart plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to library, and I am going to search for a Facebook lead follow-up smart plan that another agent has already created, and I can just take the bones of that and make some quick edits, and it's good to go. So I'm going to type in Facebook lead, enter. here we go. So here are 188 results for new Facebook lead follow-up. This one, you can roll your mouse over view steps, and it's going to show you all the steps. So here we have a text message, wait 3 days, send email. This is calls, text. You can just go through all these different ones here that you have and see which ones you like. And you also see how they're rated, how many ratings they actually have. Like this one here has 6 ratings, and they're all 5-star. And there's nearly 1,200 agents using this one. So you know what? I want to click Add Smart Plan. It's going to have me download all of these separate smart plans, which is no big deal because it's a bundle. Then I'll click Download. Awesome. So now I can come over here to my smart plans, and I'm going to click on my easy button over here. I'm going to come over to the 3 dots and click, oh, sorry, excuse me. Click on the pencil, which is edit. And anytime you see a pencil in command, that is unless you make an edit. So I want to update this really quickly. So at the top here, we can add a trigger event. I'm going to click on this. So it's going to default to category contacts, trigger event. And then I'm going to select my Keller Mortgage training tag and click choose trigger, confirm trigger. So now anytime someone comes into my system and they have the KM training ad 726 tag, it's going to automatically sign them up for this smart plan. So knowing that you have to get to your leads within minutes of getting their information. So this allows you to go be on your showings at your appointments, and it can immediately follow up with them right away. Boom, system, they come into the system, get tagged, get added to the smart plan, get the text, whatever. So super quick. So you can just come down here, double check all of this, and then you could go through each one of these smart plans down here. And then click save. And now we have created our smart plan follow-up system. Any questions so far? I know that was really quick with the smart plan, but I do want to point that out because that is a really important part of setting up a lead gen ad, is making sure that you have that follow-up system in place so you can really convert that lead into a signed buyer brokerage or listing agreement. Any other questions on the smart plans? All right. One last thing I want to show you is another way that you can get to the leads that have been added into your system. So if you come to contacts, you have the ability to filter. So you can come over here and you can filter by leads only, or you can also filter by created within. So let's say if I only have one ad running, I can select all the leads that have been created, or excuse me, all the contacts that have been created within the last 5 days. Click apply, and it would show me only those contacts that have been recently added. Now I haven't added any, so that's why none show up. I'm going to clear all of these. But then another way that you can get these leads is because we gave this campaign a very specific contact tag. I can come over here to tags and I can search KM training and apply. And this is going to pull up all my leads that have come in from Facebook that have been automatically tagged with KM training 726. What questions do you have from today's training? What can I clarify for you? What can I show you again? I know we walked through a lot. Anything I can show you? All right. Well, if there aren't any questions, then You guys are good to go. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, as you're going through and you're playing in campaigns, setting up your lead gen campaigns and your smart plan follow-up systems, please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions. I'm always here to take your call, text message, whatever. And we can also set up some one-on-one time if you like, and we can set up an ad for you as well.
Okay, thanks for your help today, Nick.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coco.
Thank you, Nick.
Bye, Shelly. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you later.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.